What's poppin', Rob Television? Welcome back to another reaction with your boy. As you can see by the title, man, yes, I'm back with another Wilt Chamberlain reaction video. Now, if you haven't watched that video, I don't know which one you watching first, that one or this one, but I just reacted to making the case Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT, greatest player of all time. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and knock out all those making the cases that I was recommended to react to that I haven't reacted to yet. But in the process of doing each player, I was going to drop probably 2 or 3 other reaction videos of him, like whether it's offensive highlights, defensive highlights, or just, you know, NBA legends or players talking about how great the players was. Just like in this case of this video, as you can see by the title, is NBA players and legends explaining how scary good Wilt Chamberlain actually was. So you know what we do over here. I ain't gonna talk you out of depth, but before we get into the video, man, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Click that post notification bell to be notified on all things Rob Television. Let's check it out.
Hey man, it's your boy YG, aka Yangala, and Wilt Chamberlain. This guy was a myth. Like the stories we will hear about this guy, it almost sounded like a fairy tale book. It was unbelievable the stuff that he was doing. Like you will hear a story that he beat Jim Brown, one of the greatest running backs in NFL history, in a race. And I kind of believe that, because if you're paying attention close to these clips right now, he is moving insanely fast at his size. And it don't even look real. Then you have another story that he's bench pressing 500 pounds, which is insane for an NBA player, and really just anybody on this planet. Then you hear stories about him having a 48-inch vertical, which is hard to believe. It gets crazy to the point that he said he killed a mountain lion, yes, a mountain lion, with his bare hands. I mean, the man scored 100 points in an NBA game. It seems like he can do anything at this point. He could say he's really the first man on the moon for all that matters. So anyways, man, we're gonna listen to NBA legends and players talk about how scary good Wilt Chamberlain was. But before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
School guys, you like to talk to him. When I put up this Wilt Chamberlain card,
I'm mad because I wanted to pass him up in points. When I hear a conversation about myself, I only want to hear one name.
The big Aristotle.
Superman.
The Diesel.
Big Cactus. Most dominant ever.
MBE.
Now, if I would have passed him up, I would have arrogantly said Shaquille O'Neal's the most dominant player ever. Don't ever ask me the question again. Yeah, I got more rings than him. He got more 50-point games. He got more rebounds, and he has more points.
Was there ever any interaction between you two while he was still living?
When I first came into the league, I did a Reebok commercial. I brought him, Bill Russell, Bill Walton, and Kareem. Here's a commercial right here. Check it out.
Password. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk.
It was me paying homage, showing respect. I saw him one time in LA, and this is no lie. We had a restaurant. I'm here. Wilt's right there. No hi, no you suck, no anything.
Didn't acknowledge you at all.
No. So unlike these guys that get upset when I go at them, I took it to myself and said, okay, he don't know who I am yet. The greats don't recognize me yet. I must not be great. And if you don't think I'm great, I got work to do. It's a pecking order thing. It's a respect thing. Now, after all that, when you go in the Staples Center and you see my name up there, it's well deserved. Those guys paved the way for me. I will never disrespect them, even if they don't talk to me, even if they don't like me. I'll never say anything disrespectful.
That's not enough. Oh, this must be a rookie thing or something.
Wilt set the standard with that remarkable game. I really don't see a 100-point game ever happening again.
I don't see anybody doing it.
I don't know if anybody will ever eclipse 100 points.
If I were to score 100 points, it would probably be me, a bunch of versus a bunch of preschoolers.
I think it'll take just as long as it did for Kobe to do it, if not longer, for the next.
Kobe had the 81 against Toronto Raptors in LA, but I don't know if anybody will even eclipse that.
Kobe had 81, you know, and he took like 80 shots.
Kobe Bryant, 81 points, the second largest scoring output in the history of the NBA.
You think somebody's going to score 100 points?
Why wouldn't it? I mean, I think in time, I think that day will come. Somebody will do it. Eventually, it's going to happen.
Let's take a look at this historic game as Wilt played for the Warriors against the Knicks. After scoring 41 points in the first half, he exploded for 59 more in the second half. He took 63 shots May
25
36 of them.
rebounds.
What might be most impressive is that Chamberlain was a career 51% free throw shooter, and he hit 28 of his 32 free throws.
What is it like when you keep hearing yourself compared to?
What y'all think about that? Let me know. Y'all think will it ever be a player that will ever score 100 points again? Let me know what y'all think about that, because I don't know, man. I know they say records are meant to be broken, but that's a rough one right there, you feel me? Like, I can't even, honestly, truth, I couldn't even answer that. I can't even be like, yeah, I think so. Like, I really don't know. Let me know what y'all think.
First of all, we can't compare that. He's on another level, but just being in that same streak and the same records, the first person that has done it since Wilt, it's like we're getting to something. That's what you work hard for. That's what you play for. Obviously, you play, win championships and all that great stuff, but it's pretty cool, when it's all said and done and you're retired and, well off, it's you're in that category.
Wilt Chamberlain was indeed the most dominant player ever.
To say who is the greatest, we will never know that. I mean, in my eye, Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest basketball player.
I mean, 100 points, it's hard to fathom that. It's hard to put it into words, just how impressive that is.
It was never going to be broken. But whatever's going to do that, I would ask myself, was he playing by himself or was he playing against the other 5 guys in the other team?
You see now all the records that guys are breaking down. Wilt Chamberlain's always the first name on the list, so it's like he's kind of hunted behind the scenes a lot, but dominated the game for a long time.
Wilt Chamberlain's the only Superman to ever play the game. His records are hilarious.
Yeah, seriously.
Anybody they talk about doing something, Wilt Chamberlain has done it hundreds of times. So
no Jordan, no LeBron for you. You got Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain, Russell. Yeah. Jordan is up there too, well deserved. LeBron, I don't think is right there with those guys.
One of the most dominant forces we ever had in our game, along with Shaq. One of the greatest Lakers to ever play the game. 100-point scorer. One of the greatest scorers, rebounders ever.
Now, I'm glad I paused that right there. Now, I need to frame this for all my LeBron fanboys. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a LeBron hater, but LeBron fans take things to the next level. They just be reaching a lot of times. Like, I seen the most craziest thing on Instagram. This was just the other day. They was like, if LeBron was able to train for 5 years, he would, that he would be able to beat prime Mike Tyson. And I was like, that's just the most absurd, ignorant. That was just flat out crazy. Like, I want to frame this, for all the, especially my man who was trolling. Even though we all know he trolling. We gotta know. I hope he's trolling. But I want to frame this to show him that even LeBron can give credit to the OGs, man.
Boundaries ever. Just dominant in all walks of life, not only just basketball, which is good.
He casts a shadow over our game, a shadow of accomplishment that will never be achieved by another player.
Why is it that we don't recognize Wilt Chamberlain? It feels like, we recognize Babe Ruth, a mythical type figure, that he was hitting more home runs than teams were. He was Babe Ruth. We don't look at Wilt Chamberlain the same way. And Babe did this in the 20s. Wilt was doing this in the 60s and early part of the 70s. And he put up incredible numbers. When the topic comes up, greatest players of all time, Wilt Chamberlain's name never comes up. Really doesn't. He didn't win enough, but he was going against the Celtics every single year. But he averaged 50.4 points a game in a season. So he got 50 every single night. But it was never enough with Wilt Chamberlain. Never. We have looked at Wilt Chamberlain like this anomaly, we sort of made him up. We do not acknowledge Wilt Chamberlain. We have forgot about him. And he's one of the most athletic players who's ever played the game. He led the league in assists. He led the league in field goal percentage, led the league in block shots. Whatever you wanted him to do, he was going to do.
Listen, we got to get out the record book, and I'm sorry, Wilt has to be in there. With all deference to Bill Russell in the winning, the man averaged, I don't care what era, he averaged 50 and 25.
Correct.
He's got to be on Mount Rushmore.
People complained about him scoring so much, he led the league.
Look at assists. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, there's been no one like him. And you can't even argue by the numbers. Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant player ever in this game.
Wilt was unbelievable. He was really a superlative athlete, and I think is really lost on people these days because they don't see that very often.
People looked at him differently, but this was more than just some big guy who dunked the basketball and ran up and down the court. This was a true athlete, and his physical prowess was unbelievable. You hear players compare players in certain eras, and I would love to see him play against some of these centers today. It would be pretty embarrassing for them, to be candid with you.
First of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. I never played against Wilt Chamberlain. To now say that one's greater than the other is being a little bit unfair. I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras. So when you try to equate who's the greatest of all time, it's an unfair parallel. It's an unfair choice.
Michael's the greatest two-guard to ever play the game and one of the most exciting players to ever put on a uniform. But to say that he's the greatest player ever and that he was a greater player than Wilt Chamberlain is ludicrous. I mean, it's ludicrous. There's no one that is close to what Wilt Chamberlain did in his career.
Wilt, there will never be anybody like it. They always say that about Michael. They always say that about other players. But there will never, ever be another Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt's 50. Did you feel like that's something he could have done every year?
No, that's special. That's once in a lifetime. In fact, I told him, I said, Wilt, I think I'm the only guy on this planet that knows how really good you are. Because he was smart on top of everything else. He was the smartest guy I played against.
So guys, I don't think we'll ever see another Wilt Chamberlain. Like 50 points and 25 rebounds in a season? Come on. Even Shaq said Wilt Chamberlain was the most dominant player ever. He's literally a once-in-a-lifetime player. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang. And I'm out.
Alright, you guys, that is it for this video. As you can see, if you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you subscribe. Click that post notification bell to be notified on all things Rob Television. I'm out this thing. Gang.